PhazePlays here with the Path of Exile 2 boss guide for Tavakai. Tavakai is a 3-phase fight, each getting progressively harder. This guide should be helpful not only at the end of Act 4, but also in endgame maps. Let's dive in. In Phase 1, Tavakai the Chieftain is in human form and wields a Jade Axe. He has 3 default attacks: a 3-hit combo, kick, ground slam, then a fist backhand, a 2-hit combo, a short cleave into a ground slam, and a wide, long sweep which comes out very quickly, has plenty of reach, and is extremely hard to dodge. Outrange these, strafe around him quickly, or dodge roll as needed. Rolling Slam is a chain of 3 ground slams. It's trivial to dodge, either outrange it or quickly strafe around him to take advantage of his slow turning speed. For Hook Throw, his axe flashes red, he quickly throws a hook in your direction, then pulls you towards him for a 2-hit combo. If hooked, the first hit is mostly unavoidable, but it's possible to move away for the second. Dodge roll instantly when his axe lights up, or just continuously circle around him. For Ancestral Slam, his head flashes red, then a large Ancestral Spirit appears behind him to do a dangerous large ground slam. It's a bit easier to dodge behind as the slam is offset towards the front. Quickly get out of range when his head flashes red. For Jade Leap, he leaps into the air, leaving behind a statue. Then he slams the ground twice. The second slam also detonates the statue he left behind. Steer clear of where he lands, and the statue where he originally jumped from. For Splintering Jade, he stomps the ground, causing a line of jade to emerge. Then he slashes the jade, which sends out a wave of projectiles in a wide cone. Dodge roll through the projectiles to avoid getting hit. Jade Bomb is a long 6-hit combo that culminates in a boulder which fires projectiles in all directions. This has an unusually long windup and is easy to avoid if you know what to look for. Just stay away from the boulder. Standing on top of the bomb during detonation can be fatal. For Summon Warrior Spirits, he'll drag his axe across the floor, then send out a frontal cone that creates Warrior Spirits. If you notice the windup, it's easy to sidestep. Kill the low health warriors quickly. Phase 1 ends when you bring Tavakai to half health. Phase 2 and 3 take place in a new arena with 8 ancestor totems at the arena's edge. Each totem corresponds to a Karui ancestor that Tavakai can call on, which introduces various hazards throughout the fight. Ramako's Sun is a glowing orb that slowly expands ignited ground. Standing on the ground deals moderate fire damage over time. After around 10 seconds, the orb detonates, dealing a decent chunk of fire damage. Outrange it when it detonates. Tofwa's Forest causes overgrowth to expand from the edges of the arena, except a small area in the center. While standing on the overgrowth, you deal less damage. It also makes it a bit harder to see other ground hazards. Tassalio's Rain causes cold projectiles to rain down at your location for 5 seconds. Keep moving to avoid getting hit. Aronhangui's Moonlight is a giant moonbeam that deals heavy cold damage over time and applies chill. Avoid standing in it. Valako's Storm creates a darkened ground with continuous lightning strikes. Avoid standing on the dark ground. Namahu's Eruption spawns a volcano that randomly spews fire projectiles nearby. Stay away for the duration. For Rongo Kurai's Void, 3 celestial serpents fly into the air. They descend, tracking your position, then submerge and create 3 void zones. Standing in a void zone deals moderate cold damage over time and applies chill. Place them along the arena's edge if possible, though they don't last long, so it's not critical. Kitava's Mark applies a 15-second debuff that causes damage you take to be leached to Tavakai's health. Minimize taking damage while the debuff is active. All 8 of these Ancestor Totem abilities will be weaved throughout the rest of the fight. In Phase 2, Tavakai heals to full and transforms into Tavakai the Fallen. There are 2 default attacks, a medium-length stab with his precursor weapon, and a quick short-range 2-hit combo with his axe. Phase 2 also has the same ability that summons Warrior Spirits. The telegraph here is identical. He'll drag his axe along the ground before sending out a damaging cone of emerald fragments. Occasionally he'll leap slam to your location, then slam the ground. He'll crouch down, put both arms to the side, and then corruption will rapidly swarm around him. Steer clear of the landing spot and dodge roll if needed. For Blood Pustule, he'll stick the precursor weapon into the ground and create a glowing blood pustule. Then he'll stomp it and create a puddle that deals physical damage over time. Blood Volley sends out streaks of blood that deal moderate damage. Dodge roll sideways to avoid it or strafe around him. Skyfall is a 7-part combo ability. It's a long sequence of many aggressive melee attacks. To telegraph the start of this sequence, Tavakai points at you with his precursor weapon. The 4th ability in the sequence is Skyfall. He'll fire many projectiles into the air which rain down over 7 seconds. These projectiles land in a circular pattern centered around the initial location they were fired from. Pay attention to the location Tavakai is in when he launches Skyfall. This is the safe zone. The final ability in the Skyfall sequence is a Leap Slam. Be sure to avoid this. For Corrupted Bloom, he'll first slam the ground with his axe, then stick the precursor weapon in the ground and Corrupted Bloom will begin expanding. After a couple seconds, the bloom detonates, dealing heavy damage. Avoid the initial axe strike and quickly get out of the bloom before detonation. Blood Spikes is a multi-part ability. Initially, he sticks the precursor weapon in the ground. Two waves of spike patterns will quickly emerge across the arena. The first wave is a spiral. Stand in between the waves. The second wave has two safe zones, close range or medium range. After a short delay, the third wave appears, a spiral that starts in the center and expands outwards. Stand at mid-range and dodge inwards once spikes emerge in front of you. If a spike emerges underneath you, it does a decent chunk of damage and applies a stack of corrupted blood. Phase 2 ends when Tavakai is around 10% health. In Phase 3, Tavakai heals to full and transforms once again, becoming even larger and more dangerous. The Ancestor Totem abilities continue in this phase. He has two default attacks, a medium-range arm sweep and a medium-range spike jab, which is sometimes followed up by a ground slam. For leap slam, he'll crouch low then leap to your position, slamming the ground. Keep moving and dodge roll when he lands. There are two different types of blood spikes in this phase, vertical and diagonal. Vertical spikes are essentially proximity mines. Stepping on one causes it to detonate after 1 second. These can be safely walked through if you keep moving without backtracking. Either avoid stepping on them or intentionally walk through them to clear some space. Diagonal spike detonation is a 4-part combo. Initially, he raises one arm in the air, transfers corruption to his second arm, raises the second arm in the air, then does 3 cone slams in alternating directions. Avoid the 3 slams. Each slam also creates diagonal blood spikes. He'll channel briefly, then roar, causing all diagonal spikes to detonate, dealing massive damage if you're near them. There are 2 things to look for to avoid the detonations. When Tavakai is hunched over pulsating, it means he's channeling the detonation. Quickly scan for groups of diagonal blood spikes on the ground. These also glow brightly right before detonation. This ability does not detonate vertical spikes. Rampage is a 7-part hyper-aggressive melee combo which can be quite dangerous. Initially, he'll place his hand on his chest and then transfer bright glowing red corruption that spreads across his back. Then he'll begin a rapid sequence of attacks. Most attacks are short-range slams or sweeps. The 5th ability is a long-range frontal cone. The 7th and final ability is a leap slam. During Rampage, he'll track your position and his turning speed is quite good. Dodging everything can be difficult. Time your dodge rolls, outrange if you can, and avoid the 5th and 7th abilities which can hit even at range. Tavakai is one of the most challenging bosses in the game, but take the time to learn the fight and you'll one-shot him at the end of Act 4 and even in endgame maps. Click like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. As always, thanks for watching.